All right, welcome to the Red and Black Wrestling. I am here with Terry Adams. Terry competed for Monsignor Farrell from 2016 through 2019. Um, and he was a 2017 New York State runner-up and 2018 New York State champion. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to be a part of the interview. So we're going to get right into it. You were Farrell's first ever Catholic State champ as a freshman to accomplish the feat. Describe what it was like to be the first one to make that history.
It was cool. First cool experience. I think it was one of my first major accomplishments. At least I thought was going to be my first major accomplishment. And that whole year, honestly, I thought that was like states. It was weird. I woke up that morning and I was just like, yeah, I'm a state champ. And I'm just like, yeah. And then I didn't know that there was a thing called actual states. Because I never, I don't know. I just started wrestling like 2 years before that. So I was just like, all right, this is states. I just won states. Oh, I walk around school like I had like the biggest schlong, if you would say. Walk around, I'm like, yeah, I own this. I just won states. And then my coach, I remember like that week when I won it, they were just like, yeah, now we're going to get you ready for New York States. And I was like, what do you mean? I just won states. Like, what a state? What do you mean New York States? And they were like, oh, no, we got to bring it to the real thing. I was like, what? There's a real thing? What do you mean
like
there's a real
two?
thing? Yeah, it was fun. So, that was one of the first major stones that I would say helped me get to where I was today, wrestling-wise, for Farrell. Because I remember sitting on the wall as a kids club kid, and I was just like, oh, look, all these Catholic state champs. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be a Catholic state champ. I'm going to be a state champ. And then, that little thing that people find, like big guys at the state tournament find little, like that's their section. For me, that was one of my biggest, all right, if I could do this, I can do this. So winning that gave me motivation. Afterwards, even after, actually, when I won that, I remember going, all right, if I was the first to do this, I want to be the first to do everything. Because I remember I also saw, everyone always talked about Rich Sisti being the first. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to beat Rich Sisti and I'm going to beat Ben Villaret. And I was like, I don't know, doing the first to do that gave me the confidence and motivation to do a lot of firsts for Farrell.
And you kept that momentum going in the off season, placing at the national tournament Fargo, the first one in Farrell's program to ever accomplish that as well. I believe the only one on Staten Island, I believe, in the borough to accomplish that feat as well. So how would that translate from, being the first Catholic state champ to now accomplishing another first, like you were saying, in the off season at the national tournament?
That was one of the big, as me and David Berkovich and Dove, that whole gang, like remember we were always going like freestyle practices and stuff. I remember me and All American, we would talk about it was my peak, and it was a weird thing because like I never did freestyle before. I didn't even know freestyle existed until I did that. I actually started practicing because I saw the juniors at my time, like David, Flynn, Isaac, Roberts, all of them, like working freestyle, and I'm like, what the hell is freestyle? Like, freestyle and Greco, what is this? What do you mean I can throw someone on top of their head and not get in trouble for it now? And I was just like, all right, I guess I'll try it. And I really didn't know anything going into it, so I remember we would just practice all the time, and then then going to Fargo, that it was just that whole experience really set me up for the rest of my career, because it getting, like, a lot of people don't know this, but like when we, like, before the way Fargo is now, the way it used to be, it was just like you would go on a bus with every kid, and the kids on that team, like Greg Diacono Hollis, Yanni, Vito, like Jacory, like that was the team. Like those kids were on that team. So being on that team at that time, like people like Jacory, Frankie Gissendanner was on the year I was on it, Michael Gagne, Greg, Dylan Ryder, like being on that team, I honestly felt like I didn't even belong. I'm just looking around. Like my room alone, like I've told you about this when I came back. Like my room was me, Gissendaner, Kropman, Gagne, Lucio, Ebanks, and then right across from us, Silverstein, Adam Busiello, Ja'Cory Teemer. And that right over there's Evan Barzak, a bunch of other mad good kids ranked in the country. And then there's just me who went 1 and 2 at States. Rooming with a kid that I beat at States, so it was just even weirder. And then training for that was a lot of fun. We went all over the country, practicing in rooms, met some really good people. And then the Fargo tournament itself, it was just lost first round. Literally went, well, this was fun. And then
I think it was 6 consecutive matches that you had to win to place.
Honestly, it was really funny about that. If you can even ask Michael Gagne about this, if you ever get to talk to him, you can ask anyone that was with me that whole Penn Godfrey. You can even not Penn Godfrey. Penn Godfrey never knew about that. Any of the guys I was with, like Frank Gissenander, Ja'Cory, any one of them that kept asking me like, "Yo, you're like 1 round away." I just kept saying I wanted to go home. I didn't even want to be there. I literally was like, I need to go home. Someone beat me. I want to go home. And then I got to the point where I was just like, oh, I'm at the blood round. And I'm just like, oh, shit. I made it this far. I can't lose. And then, And then the rest was history. I ended up All-American. Being Farrell's first All-American. That whole ceremony was sick. But then, honestly, I think the best part about it wasn't even All-American. Was seeing who else I was, like, All-American with. And seeing that I was right next to people like Ja'Cory Teemer and Frank Gissenander won it that year. Dylan Ryder, Greg, Busiello, Shanahan, I think his name is. Can't remember him right now. And there was one more. And there was a couple other guys that were placed actually, but I can't remember them right now. And then we took third as a team. So like that whole Fargo experience and that me All-American, that helped settle. That was the second major accomplishment. That was the one. Me winning states, Catholic states, was the confidence in the I can section is this is all right. I did that. Me All-American was something that I didn't plan to happen, but it happened, and it made me give the confidence like, oh, if I can wrestle with the top guys in the country, I can wrestle anywhere basically. So that was that. Me All-American being the first really gave me that. Oh shit, I'm Terry Adams. Like that's what, because even after like All-American, that was just everyone was like, oh, Terry Adams this, Terry Adams that, and I was just like, all right, that was my major. Like this, all right, I'm that bitch. Like I gotta like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm that bitch, but I don't want to be that bitch, but I am.
Yeah.
So like that was my big. All right, this is who I am.
And it's crazy though because you had pretty notable wins in the off season too. You beat Dylan Ryder at the freestyle state tournament your freshman year, which was a crazy upset. No one even expected him to even fall at any point throughout the tournament. Then the following year, you beat Logan Gumbel in the semis, and then you beat Anthony Noto, who's now a 4-time New York State champion, in the finals.
Other way around, pal.
Other way around. The Dylan
Ryder one, that story is still funny to this day. I remember
it was a tech ball, I believe.
Remember, he just won. Did he win Eastern States that year? Either he won Eastern States or he beat Greg that year. And I remember, I think he beat Greg at Eastern States, and I was like, damn, this kid's good.
Mm-hmm.
And then Greg beat him, and I was like, damn, Greg's good. And then I remember he was at Freestyle States, and I was just like, why the hell is he at Freestyle States? Like, you're automatically on the team. You're state placer, state finalist, you're automatically on the team. Like, I don't even know why the hell you're here. Go home. Why are you here? Go wrestle someone better. Like, and I remember he was at my weight, and I was like, shit. And then I remember I had him, like, semis, and I was like, what the fuck? And I remember Jay Bross came up to me. Jay Bross came up to me. He was like, he likes to do this dump. I was like, what? like, what coach? He goes, yeah, I'm texting Greg right now. Greg said, watch, he likes to do this dump thing. I was like, okay. So I wrestle him, and I'm just scared beyond belief. I'm looking at him just like, this kid, all he needs to do is take me down and then run a bar on me, and I'm fucked. And then I just kept doubling him, and I was just like, looking at the score, and I'm looking, and I look at the score again. I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, how am I beating this kid? And then I doubled him, and I pushed him out, and I won. And I got my hand raised, and I'm just like, all right, someone can slap me now, wake me up, like, this isn't real. And then I end up, it was just, everyone was like, yeah, you just beat Dylan Ryan, and I'm just like, I don't know how. Everyone was expecting me to celebrate. I did jump on my coach's arms, but I was just, after a while, it just hit me, and I'm just like, I just beat this kid.
Yeah.
And that was just my big. That was another peak moment for me. And then the year after, I wrestled Noto in the semis, and I was just completely out of shape. I don't even know how I won against him too. I beat him, and you can pull up the match to this day. Me and Anthony Noto talk about it all the time. I've even admitted to him. I still don't know how I beat him. I just got very lucky. What I did, actually, no, I think I scored 4 or 6 points really early in the match.
Yeah, I think you were up by like 8, and then you just chilled the last 2 minutes.
Yeah, and that helped me win that match. But still, that day, I don't know how I turned him. Don't know how I took him down that quick. Caught him off guard, but yeah, no, those were good memories. That helped me a lot. That freshman year me was that off-season freshman year me was a different person than it was regular season.
And those surreal moments didn't end there. They actually translated it into the following season at the state tournaments, both 2017 and 2018. In 2017, you had Ivan Garcia in the semifinals. Before we talk about the following year, just describe that whole atmosphere. You went 1-2 your freshman year, and now here you are your sophomore year in the semifinals. You eventually make the finals. Just describe that atmosphere and what it was like to compete and the whole match and the outcome of that match.
Well, the atmosphere is not. A lot of people think like, oh, state semis is like crazy. I mean, it is. Don't get me wrong. Like crazy matches happen all the time, but it's just still the same regular match. But going through my mind, I wasn't really nervous. Even during the whole match, I wasn't really that nervous. I just took it as a normal match. I also felt like I had something to prove because I just came back from being in the finals at Eastern States. But since one of the kids I beat at that turn, the Wyoming Sem kid, I beat him, and he beat all these other kids all the kids that were in that state tournament. Since he wasn't part of New York, I couldn't steal his points. Mm-hmm. So I got seated low. So I had to prove to everyone that it wasn't a fluke Eastern States was. And I knew, I heard about Ivan at the time. People were telling me about him. They were like, yeah, this kid's going to be good. It's going to be your toughest match of the year. And I was like, all right. And I took that as everyone thought I was going to lose to him. Mm-hmm. Him and Brock Delsor, that was another one a lot of people said that they thought was going to beat me. And both very good kids, love them to death. They're one of my closest friends through wrestling. But I had like, all right, these kids are apparently going to be the next big thing, and we're all going for the same goal, so this is going to be good. And I had Brock first match. I beat him 10-5, but that was because I was a lot bigger than him. He was still developing in 299. He was good. He kept the pace coming. I loved wrestling, and he's still one of my favorite matches that I wrestled when I was at 99. And then the Ivan Garcia match was, I think, the most I wrestled straight without being tired, but probably one of the most stressful matches I watched to this day. After.
Very anxiety-inducing.
It was back and forth the whole time, and that match was the whole reason the idea of refs hate Catholic school kids.
Yeah.
That, and then my junior year, the year I won, because I remember Ivan took me down early. I get out. Then it's like back and forth. And I should have taken him down at least 6 times. And the ref didn't give me a single one. He kept saying we were out of bounds when my feet were in. Or he would say it was nothing. It was just like back and forth. Then Ivan also got a lot of iffy calls on me. It was like it was just a back and forth, and then I knew this kid was good on top, and that was the scary thing. And I remember we were going into double overtime. I just wrote him out. He scored first, so then he gets to go bottom. I have to run him out again for another 30 seconds. And in my head, I'm like, I can't fuck this up.
Mm-hmm.
And then I remember having Blair ride it. Not a Blair ride. I think can't remember what it was. It was can't remember the move right now. Can't remember it. I had the neck and inside the thigh. Can't remember what it's called. I was just riding, and I was just remember I just was cutting a lot tonight, and I was probably one of the biggest 99 pounders at that time. So I just finished. Remember, that was second day weight. So I have all my strength back. So I have everything. I'm like a 110, 115 pounder, grabbing on and choking the dear life out of this kid to not make him go out. And I remember he went for a Grammy roll and I stopped it mid-second. Like, perfect timing, but stopped it. And the rest was history. I ended up winning the match in the ultimate tiebreaker and ended up wrestling Nunez in the finals. And that was also one of those moments where I was like, all right, I can clutch in semis. And that year, people were like, oh, this kid is one of those kids that can help wrestle in those moments. And especially my junior year, that was when I was known as semifinals Terry.
And we're just gonna get right into your junior year in that semifinals. You wrestled Griffin before at Eastern States. I believe you lost in the quarterfinals.
Yeah,
I don't precisely remember the
7-4.
score. It was kind of close, but you fell short at Eastern States. And you were seeded, I believe, the 4 seed that year, and you had Griffin in the semifinals of states.
Yeah.
And he locked up a cradle on you about 30 seconds in. And here you are down 5-0, a centimeter away from getting pinned. And you fight off your back and you just rally back. Like, how? Like, what was going in your mind?
Going through my mind, scramble. All right, he has my leg. Oh, he's long. Oh, shit. He got a cradle. Wow, third place is going to be tough. Literally, the whole mindset was that. And then I got out. And I think I was fighting on my back. I think I was in a cradle for a minute and a half, just on my back, just looking. I'm just like, damn. I started counting tiles. I'm not going to lie to you. I started counting tiles. I just didn't know what to do. I knew I was not getting pinned, but I knew I wasn't getting out anytime soon. And somehow I fought off at the perfect moment. And I just looked at the clock, and I'm just like, damn, there's 10 seconds left. Holy shit. How am I going to do something? And he Grammy rolled. No, I don't even remember what I did, honestly. I just, next you know it, I knew he collapsed, and then I got 2 at the last second. And went from 5 to 5-3, and then I just went to town on him. I just kept doubling him.
I remember those.
I remember. I just kept doubling him, and I think I might have bruised his ribs.
I think you knocked the wind out of him because you went for a double, you brought him up, and then you brought him back down on the mat. And I'm not gonna lie, there was a bit of impact there, but you got your 2. I don't think they were counting back points because he was flat on his back, but I think they stopped it right there. He called injury time. You knocked the wind out of this kid.
That I remember that, and I remember I just kept going. I just kept taking him down, lining up, and I just kept breaking him. I broke him mentally.
Yeah.
Because at Eastern States, I was the only kid that pushed him at Eastern States too. The only reason why he beat me at Eastern States, one of the reasons why he beat me, was because he turned me and then stalled the whole time. Mm-hmm. So I knew if he didn't turn me, I could take him down because I almost took him down like 5 times and we kept going out of bounds. So I remember Coach Ironman coming up to me that week of practice and he was like, "We're doing doubles." And I'm like, "What?"
Yep, I remember.
We're doing doubles. I was like, "Yeah, why?" He goes, "Because you're going to double this kid and break his leg. You're going to break him." And I was like, "What?" He goes, "You're going to break either his ribs or you're going to break him mentally. You're going to double this kid."
Or both.
The whole time. And I remember I had to use you as my partner. Yeah. And I just felt bad because we used to do that for 2 hours just straight
for 2 weeks straight.
for 2 weeks straight, and
I came home with
that and a
bruised
headlock move,
ribs.
which I don't think I ever needed to use. I don't think I still know it to this day, and I'm never gonna never gonna expose it out into the real world. I use it as my last resort move that Iron Man ever taught me. But it's one of those that match I just kept going back, just coming trying. I was fighting back, and he called I think 3 injury times.
Yeah.
Or 2 injury times.
It wasn't just
and
once.
the
He called it
momentum was going my way, and then this is that semis was when the ref almost screwed me that year, when I literally was shooting the whole entire match. He didn't
and
take
then
a
you got
single
banged
shot,
for stalling because you
and
were
I got
up by
pegged for stalling
1.
twice. And I can understand the first one I did stall. The second one was we were scrambling. He pushed me down, so I backed up for a sec. I got down on one knee, scrambled out, and then drove him forward, and then I got hit with stalling.
What's it called?
And
Yeah, I remember. You were up by 1, and then he banged you with 2 stallings, and then it set you into overtime.
And then, double overtime. I just took him down again, rode him out, and beat the kid that was supposed to win his way, tech his whole way through the tournament.
And then you had Jaden Scott in the finals, who came off of an impressive run. He beat Luke Smith, I believe.
He beat Ivan in the quarters, and then he beat Josiah in the semis.
Josiah in the semis. That's who it was. And then you had this kid who probably had the most hype heading into the finals because he was coming off of 2 very impressive victories, and you stole a victory 3-2.
Yeah, I think honestly, both of us probably have the most hype going into that finals match. Because that match before us, it was Steve-O. And
yeah,
this was when Steve-O was at 99. Freaking fucking man at a boy's weight, just throwing legs and just killing kids.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone expected Steve-O to just tech his kid. But no one expected this 8th grader and me to be in the finals. Mm-hmm. And Jaden Scott, for an 8th grader that day, he pushed me. He made me really go, oh shit. Because it was back and forth, just scrambling. Just constant reshot. And I think I got lucky on a reshot.
You got him down with a double. You took him down.
Stopped it and ankle picked him right away, and then rode him out. And then I just ended up riding him out for the rest of the match. And then beat him 3-2 actually, because he got out. No, he got out the second period, and then he got out again in the third after 30 seconds left, and then I just stalled. And then got lucky I didn't get hit with stalling again. And and then I won states. That was really it. It was just, I wrestled smart against the kid.
And then your senior year, you had a tough state tournament. You fell short in the semis. You lost to Greg Diakomahalis in the semis. And then you made it to your 3rd place match, and then you lost to Luke Smith, and you ended up taking 4th. So what was that tournament like? It was your last tournament as a high school wrestler. It was the last time you were representing Farrell. So what were the emotions going through when you realized that was your last high school match?
I was a little sad. It was just because I've been in the Farrell singlet since I was 12. And and wearing that singlet for the last time, like till this day, I still miss wearing that singlet. Because that singlet was a lot to me. That singlet was who made me who I was. I wasn't known as Terry from the Catholic session. I was known as Terry from Farrell. Mm-hmm. And that school helped me get to places, helped me meet people. Wrestling for that school helped me get to places, and knowing that I was gonna wear it one last time for being there so long and being with like you guys, it made me a little emotional. I was just like, damn, I think I'm never gonna be able to wear this singlet ever again in my life. And hurt the first time. The first time it really hit me was when I won Catholic States again. When I won it the 4th year, and when I won it that last time, I was just like, I almost broke down immediately because I was just like, damn, this was the last time I wrestled in front of the team.
Mm-hmm.
Last time I wrestled in front of the parents. And it was the last time I was going to be wrestling in front of you guys. So it made me a little upset because I wish I was able to do it more.
Mm-hmm.
And then wrestling at States for the last time on that singlet, it was just like every time I wore that singlet in the placement round or in the finals, it was, yeah, I'm this kid from Catholic section. I'm from this little school in Staten Island. Wait, I'm here to go. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it was just one of those. It's one of those things that you don't know
Until it's gone.
that it was the good times until you finally let it, like, until it happens, and then you're just like, damn, I wish I could go back again.
Yep. Trust me, I know. So you're now at Ursinus, in Collegeville, Pennsylvania. You finished your freshman year. Your first tournament of your college career, you knocked off one of the top 10 ranked guys in the country at your weight in the finals. I think he was ranked number 6 at your weight, in the country. What was it like competing in your first college tournament?
It was interesting, to say the least. I had to get used to it being 3-2-2, I think. Is it 3-2-2? 3-2-2, right? Yeah. So I had to get used to being the first round wasn't 2 minutes, it was 3. So I had to get used to that, which wasn't that hard to get used to. And then it wasn't, I want to say it wasn't that different from high school. More like the guys are bigger, it's a lot faster. The refs know more what they're doing, and it's just run better than high school tournaments. So it was just everything was more well organized, more competitive, and it was interesting. I liked it. I loved my first tournament. I came in as the 4 seed, which I didn't even think I was going to get seeded to begin with. And then I made it to the finals, and I'm wrestling this kid. The kid, and I think he was ranked 10th at the time. I don't know if he was ranked 6th or 10th.
Yeah, it was top 10.
I think he was 10. You just, because it was the beginning rankings. And match starts, I take a single, and forgot the kid was 5'8", and tried kicking his leg, and my 5'4" ass couldn't even touch it. So I'm just swiping at something that isn't even close to me.
Mm-hmm.
I ended up getting scrambled on and scored on, and then it was just a back and forth match. And then I was down by 1, 4-3 with 10 seconds left. I look at the clock, and I was just like, time to go back to semifinal Terry Adam mode, and just took a shot and scored last second. And then I was like, all right, here we go. Here goes the beginning. And then that helped set the pace for the rest of my freshman year.
Mm-hmm.
That gave me
following
the
tournament.
Okay, I just beat this kid ranked top 10 in the country.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's time to go be ranked in the country. Time to be top, number 1 guy, number 2 guy. Never happened, but still, I had the mindset.
And then the following tournament, your own home tournament, you actually got to take home a belt. Pretty dominant run. You ended up taking your finals match, I think, in the first period.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was you wrestled that kid before. You actually wrestled him at the Messiah Invitational.
Yeah, I
in
teched
the semifinals. You teched him, and then you just repeated it again. How did you make sure that it wasn't a closer match, that you still were able to keep that same outcome and not have the gap close?
Well, the first time we wrestled, my coach, literally Coach Joe Jameson, and Anthony Terrilizzi, Cheese, as we call him, came up to me and he was like, it was either Jameson, Cheese, or I think Ironman. One of the 3 came up to me and they were like, he has the duck. Mm-hmm. And I was like, what? He goes, yeah, he ducked. I was like, okay. Knew the duck was coming and he still hit me with it. So then I was like, oh, I'm pissed. And one of my good friends here, Scott Michaelwitz, Scott, you can ask him. He said, as soon as he saw me take me down with a duck, I just turned into someone different, and I just went to town on this kid. And then I tech pinned him at that tournament. And then in the finals, I saw he was there, and I was like, I just tech pinned him here. I know how to wrestle him. And I took him down, and then I just learned some new things on top too, and I was getting good at it. So I just tried it, and the match was over, and I was just like, damn. And I was just like, honestly, the cool part about it was the belt. I'm not gonna lie to you. That was my favorite part of that whole tournament. And the best part wasn't me and my roommate at the time, Sean Marchesano, won a tournament too. So me and him were holding the belt like we were in WWE, just doing poses and acting like we were WWE superstars. So it was funny. And we were just like, we woke up the next morning with the belt, and we were just walking around like this, just going like this, holding it. It was awesome. But yeah, no, that was the mindset there was, I've beaten you. I know how to wrestle you. I'm not gonna let you take me down again.
Mm-hmm.
And that was pretty much how it is.
And so you finished your first entire year at college. Just describe the college atmosphere. How has college been workload wise, academically? Any changes, how you can translate your wrestling work ethic into your academic work ethic, and just the whole overall college atmosphere.
It's one of those things where you have to figure it out on your own. No one's here to baby you.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to figure things out for yourself. But workload with academics and athletic wise here, Coach Jameson has done a great job with it. He has us fill out sheets with our times and classes we have, so we can set up times for practices and lifts. He has things where we work on ourselves. He's been doing a really good job on that, and it's been all of us have been working on ourselves and our wrestlings and from with him with that. And like I said, it's one of those things you got to figure out for yourself. You got to work with your own. You got to work with what you have.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like something you're gonna go first day of school. I know what I'm doing. It's one of those you got to do it for a week, 2 weeks, and you got to get used to a cycle. And then the only problem with that is once you get used to that cycle, like athletics come in, and then you got to get used to that cycle with that cycle. So it's like it's just a time management cycle thing you got to get used to. It's one of the things you have to do in order to understand how to do it. I can tell you what to do, but my schoolwork in college is different from some, let's say, Siller or Jimmy or you. Like, we have last year our practice was at 4, right? Was our practice at 4 last year? 4:30. This year is at 4:40, 4:40, like 5 o'clock. Because everyone has different time schedules, and it's an adapting period, and it's just simple words. It's adapting, and being in D3 really helps me with that because I give props to all those D1 kids that just have the workload and a bunch of athletics and constant this and that. I couldn't do it. That's why I didn't go D3. I mean D1. I went D3. One of the reasons why I just wanted to work on myself. I wanted to have like a fun experience and be happy and live the best I can. And that's why I chose Ursinus really. So yeah, it's one of those things you got to do you got to work on you have to do what you think is best for you.
So later tonight, actually, I'm going to be interviewing Jimmy Ryan. We all know that you and Jimmy Ryan have been teammates throughout your entire high school career. So what was it like, you came off of a state title the previous year and then seeing him take one of his own the following year? How was that like, seeing one of your closest friends and your practice partner for 4 years, reach that goal that he's been chasing, What was that moment like for you, to witness that happen?
Like the Jurassic Park meme. That crazy son of a bitch did it. That was really what through my mind. I was like, the crazy son of a bitch did it. I knew he was going to. Honestly, another moment too in my head, I was just like, I also probably doesn't remember it, but I remember we joked around about it. I was like, why did it take you so long? Like, we all knew you could do it. And I remember, I was just so proud of him. I remember that. And he was one of those kids that worked so hard in the room. And because way we grew up compared to how your team grew up was the kids that we had in the room were, if you're not fighting each other, you're not working hard.
Mm-hmm.
And me and Jimmy were two of the hardest working kids in that room. I think me and Jimmy, in total of 4 to 5 years we've known each other, probably fought each other over 100 times.
Yeah.
It was just a normal thing. People would come into the room and see just me and Jimmy just throwing fists and then laughing and hugging each other as we're bleeding from the mouths. And we were just like, yeah, this is just how, and that's how our friendship grew. Because me and him were always wrestling together. Me and him were always teaching each other new things.
Mm-hmm.
And seeing someone like him who just constantly worked his ass off. Because anyone who sees Jimmy can look at him and go, yeah, he's unathletic as hell.
Yeah.
Like you can tell him to run, and he looks like he's having like a Tourette syndrome some type, like the way he runs sometimes. Because he just constantly just can't stop moving. So you're just like, all right, he's the most unathletic kid.
Uncoordinated.
He just takes these kids that way more athletic, way more powerful, with probably a lot more better technique than he has, and he's just breaking them into triple overtime, double overtime, just breaking their necks, just constantly just on top, just destroying them. And it's just finally see someone work their ass off and get what they get. It was good to watch.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like a coach. I was just like,
felt like a proud dad.
I was like, damn, buddy, come on. I knew sooner or later you were gonna do it. And it was good. I was always helping him when it came to cutting weight. I was gonna make sure that kid was gonna win the state title that year. Time, we're just at. I remember one time we were doing the power hour, and I look at him, and he's just dead. He can't move. I'm like, buddy, come on, one more week, you got this. Come on, one more week, you're gonna win a state title, and that was our motivation for him.
And that crazy son of a bitch did it.
Yeah, the crazy son of a bitch did it.
And one last thing, we're gonna end off here. I've asked everyone else so far this question. Every wrestler has different advice, different ways of leading others into accomplishing their goals. What do you have to say to those who want to bring home state titles and accomplish their goals and their dreams?
Just probably people are gonna tell you work hard, lift, be stronger. It's just there's a lot of things to it, and you got to do, like I said earlier, it's the same thing with college. You got to do what works for you. Mm-hmm. You have to find out what makes you happy and what you're good at and what you're bad at, and work on it. And just believe in yourself. Really, it's just don't let others dictate your future. Because I had people yell at me saying, "Oh, you'll never do this if you'll never lift." And I didn't really start getting into lifting until I got to college. And yes, it helps. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying don't lift. Don't ever lift. Don't be a skinny, fragile kid. But do what you think is best for you. Like, I would always work on things that I wasn't good at, and work on the things I was also good with at the same time to keep the balance going. You also have to go through practices where I would love, like, I'd rather have someone yelling at me than rather someone telling me, "Oh, you did good here." like Iron Man coming into practice and just mentally destroying me for
Obliterating
3
you.
hours straight of just telling me how bad I am at one move.
Just
Made me go, shut
obliterated
up,
you.
old man. I'm gonna do it. I can do this shot. What do you mean I'm dumb? I can do this. Yeah, no, but you have to, one, surround yourself with people that believe in you and that are not bringing you down. You also gotta believe in yourself, and you gotta put the work in. Because you can have talent, but if you don't work on it, it's just, what are you using it for? It's just waste.
Mm.
So it's just those 3 things I suggest for people. It's just surround people that believe in you, work on yourself, and work hard in the room, and just believe.
Mm-hmm.
And you can, if you work on those 3 things, anything are possible. Like, I can tell you to this day, I don't think I would ever have any of those accomplishments. It took one thing. It literally took one thing for me to become who I am. It was literally me becoming an All-American that took me to go, okay, I can do, and did all that accomplishments.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't wake up one morning and go, yeah, I'm going to win states. Like, you have to use what you got. And that's just what and also, don't be afraid to ask for help. There's a lot of people that never get the credit that helped me to where I am now. Like, everyone knows the Farrell coaches. Those guys, I'm not saying they didn't help me, but they weren't the only ones. There was Penn Godfrey. Penn Godfrey helped me. Penn Godfrey was one of the few people outside of Farrell that really believed in me.
Mm-hmm.
And really pushed me. And I thank him a lot for that, because he put me with the best guys in the room and made me who I am. There was Blaze Rufo, first guy to ever teach me how to wrestle. He
Mm-hmm.
believed in me before anyone else did. And there was just a bunch. Long Beach coach, can't remember his name right now. I always called him Poppy though.
Yep.
He believed in me too. He always believed that I was gonna be good. He always had something great going for me. He always asked me how I was doing whenever he saw me. Will from Brooklyn Tech, he always believed in me. It's just a lot of people outside that room that helped me become who I am, and I wasn't afraid to ask them for help, and they helped me, and they don't get enough credit for it, so I had to get that out. Just want to let everyone know that Farrell wasn't the only one that made me who I am. There's a lot of guys like them, and yeah, you just gotta surround yourself with people. That's the main goal I have to get from that.
Yeah. And thank you so much for taking the time out again. Can't thank you enough for that. Means a lot for me and for the website and all the people watching at home. So thank you. And we're just gonna call it right there.
Wait, can I have one more thing? If
Yes.
anyone ever sees my mom at a wrestling tournament, I'm like, can we just nickname her the Screeching Owl now? I think we should keep that going. I think that should be the nickname from now on. I believe that we should name it the Screeching Owl, because that is still the funniest thing. Whoever made that joke makes me happy.
Oh, I'm gonna buy her an owl costume now.
Oh, she's gonna have to get a nickname. I need her for seeing Mikey's senior night. They have to announce her as the Screeching Owl for the last time.
We'll make sure that happens.
All right.
Thanks.
No problem.